It's me. It's Shrimpchu. It's week 2 Artist Way vlog thing. I'm kind of like, I don't even, like, I mean, I've planned this, I've tried to shape it, but throughout all that, I'm like, I don't even know how to start this. This feels like there's not much to say, or there's not, like, I realize it's because I don't have to explain the basic concepts of the book that this feels, like, shorter and smaller, and I'm like, that's literally fine. Week 2. Recovering a sense of identity. Quite about like self-definition being important to recovery and just your boundaries, and yeah. My favorite line is that it's like, as long as we are blocked, we often feel that it's arrogance and self-will to speak of ourselves as creative artists. So basically, like, if you're blocked, you're like, no, can't, like, how egotistical, no, couldn't possibly, not me, is what I took away. It's kind of like, you know when you're like, you daydream about doing the thing, but you don't ever actually do the thing. So I've said before, like, the book has little quotes along the very large margins at the sides of the pages a lot. This one, there's one here on like page 43 that's like, Robert, I don't know if this is a Robert Louis Stevenson or Robert Louis Stevenson, but people with names say quotes. These are like, to know what you prefer, instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer, is to have kept your soul alive. Which, while sounds a little bit overly fancy for the sentiment, I'm like, as someone who feels slightly banged over the head with the general society expectations, sometimes, not all the time, yeah, I'm like, I like that quote. I like it. I'm gonna keep, well, I say keep that. I won't remember it, but I'll appreciate it while I read it. And week 2 also talks about, as the book puts it, poisonous playmates. And no, these are not your friendly little noodles or brightly colored frogs. No, it talks a lot about like potential for like friends or other people in your life to be like toxic to your creative self, especially if they themselves are like blocked creatives. The book compares it to like if you're a recovering alcoholic and expecting your bar buddies to be super supportive of you, kind of thing. And I felt a little bit, teeny bit called out because the book says, like, as blocked creatives, we focus not on our responsibilities to ourselves, but on our responsibilities to others. We tend to think such behavior makes us good people. It doesn't. It makes us frustrated people. And I was just like, look, stop calling me out. I'm a person with history of people-pleasing tendencies that are more ongoing than I think they are. And slight issues with saying no that, again, are not quite as gone as I like to think they are. Work in progress, though. Better than it used to be. Only gonna get better. Might do it before it gets better, but we'll get better. So it also talks about like doubt and writing things off as coincidences and being scared of success and stuff like that. Or like me feeling more creative or generally less bogged down in the mind. Or generally less like cluttered in my mind isn't like, totally isn't because of the morning pages. It's a coincidence, like stuff like that is like meh. As the book puts it, it's like you're brave enough to try recovery, but you're still scared by success. You're like, no, rather back out. No success, please. Which, whilst I'm not exactly doubting, I'm like, because doing the morning pages, at the very least, I do feel a bit more like, ooh, ideas and me. But at the same time, I've also been like 2 months in a new environment that's a bit more freeing, and I'm like, that could be an impact, especially as I actually sort of sinks in that I'm here. But, you know, I'm open to both being the answer. There are many factors in life. And then as for my artist date this week, now I'm still like very much like figuring out what counts as one, what like is an artist date. I still sort of like, my general understanding is like it doesn't have to be something specifically creative, but as long as it's like creative or fun or fulfilling in some way, like for you. So I'm kind of like, fingers crossed, because I feel like this one's kind of... Because this week I was like just listen to music whilst rearranging two of my main areas. One being that corner over there, which is the main thing I can see of this room while here at my desk. And then also sort of the bedside area over in my side of the bedroom. Because basically we still need like bookcases or shelves or something, because I just have like books and plushies sat around that don't have a place to actually sit yet. Unfinished apartments, woo! Which is fine, I don't really mind. Be sorted out when it gets sorted out. I have like two little storage boxes, like the kind that are the right size to like sit on as like a small stool, like that kind of height. And they were both sat here with a few bags around them just over in that corner. And I was like, clear that out, that corner is now just empty, there is nothing over there. The two boxes are in the room, all my books are shoved. I tried to say stuffed and shoved, and it just... All the books are inside one, vaguely organized by like YouTuber books and like spooky books, mixed with a few books that don't actually fit into that category. And then I'm using one as like my makeshift bedside table. It has one of my currently reading books, a few plushies that are like sentimental to me for various reasons, and I'll hopefully have to start putting my glasses there instead of leaving them on my computer desk like I've started getting into the habit of. That, and I'm going to leave my morning pages book in there because I think that's one reason why I wasn't doing them actually while getting up. I mean, also because I just don't get up, but the book's actually right there. I might write them in bed and then, you know, be like, yeah, I did them. But yes, right, my artist date. So I feel like that, I mean, I feel like listening to music is kind of like a great fuel because you're just like listening to stuff, getting all the feels and vibes and stuff. But I was listening to my favorite band, My Chemical Romance. I was like, maybe I'll shuffle all the bands. No, I just listened to them. It was great. And you know how sometimes even with your favorites you'll skip through to be like, maybe not that song, maybe not this song. I was like, whatever comes on, I'm letting it play. And it was great because some songs came up that I hadn't heard as recently. I was like, yeah. So that was nice. It was like nostalgia, fun, and I cleared up spaces that should be beneficial to my creative / productive outflow. Maybe. And then we're at the task this week where, like I said, this week it's kind of self-identity. There was a lot of sort of seeing what time and stuff goes towards and just the levels of fulfillment in different areas of your life and things you like doing and stuff. Like one, there was like, where did your time go? Which you had to like write down your the 5 like main activities in your life. And sort of like, were they something you do because you should, or you do because you want to, sort of thing, and how much time they actually took up. I tried to go for like a normal week in not COVID times because I was like, So like normally I work's my top most timey-wimey thing, and then next is some kind of mixture between YouTube content and Twitch content because depending on the week and what I'm working on, the YouTube fluctuates. Twitch is generally a solid 12 to like 15-16 hours depending. Some weeks run over. I say run over, I'm like, if the game's still fun, I'll keep playing. If I'm not too tired, I keep it going. And then it was like spending time with my best friend, which we're doing virtually at the moment, which is still averages on 3 or 4 hours, which is probably what it would average on in person as well. And then because I do nothing, like 5th one, I was like, I'm just gonna put down sleep, because that's basically it. My average normal time frame is like work, content, friends, sleep. At least for things I could actually figure out my time. I figure I probably sleep more than I play The Sims, not for content, so. And then another cool one was the life pie task. So you just have to draw a circle and divide it into 6 pieces, which I can't draw circles, and apparently I can't draw straight lines through circles either because mine is not equal. But you label it like work. Like work, was it work, spirituality, friends, play, adventure, romance. Like that's adventure slash romance. There was 6. What's the other one? What was the other one? Exercise. Exercise was one I was forgetting. Go figure. But yeah, you draw your circle. You label them. Put a little dot in the middle of each section, and like, if it's closer to the inner circle, you're not very fulfilled. If it's closer to the outer circle, you're pretty fulfilled in that section of life. And mine looks fairly even until spirituality, which dips a little bit at the same time, considering I didn't get my lines very even. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of a scruffy circle with a little bit of scruffy pie chart as a result. I put them sort of midway for most of them because I'm sort of, I feel reasonably semi-fulfilled in most ways, but you know, working on more and betterness, and depends on the week. Some weeks I'm like, woo, and other weeks I'm just like, meh. And then I kind of liked how, so 3 of them relate to each other, and I think this totally falls into how the tasks are not meant to be like, I don't want to say not difficult, because I'm sure some of them are probably going to be like self-discovery a bit, oof, but you know, fun, chill, not feeling like your high school math homework, unless you love math, in which case, go you. So one was like, write out like 10 tiny changes you want to make in your life, like ranging from like the tiny to the big, so you know, it could be like, I want to, you know, buy a second set of bed sheets, or I want to go to Japan. Like, those were the legit examples in the book. Then the next task is like, pick one. And the task after that is like, now do it. Just do it. Just do it. No. So I'll end up my wanting to rearrange my spaces and actually have some kind of system set up. Bedside area was on that list. And thus I had my artist date and a task. I feel like a cheater, but at the same time, if it works, right? And then there's a further task that I didn't get around to doing this week, but I would definitely like to come back and do, because there was one that was like, list 20 things that you enjoy doing, which the book was like, and this would be a good resource for artist dates, which would save me Googling and reading people's blogs who have done this with suggestions. So I found a lot of good suggestions out there on the internet. Actually, you know what? I'll place in the description 2 of the main links I found for like artist date ideas, in case anyone out there is like either also doing this and going, what the heck is an artist date, or for 2, you know, just likes being creative and doing things and it's like, hey, maybe I'll do some of these. All's valid. So yeah, that is my week 2. It's sort of, I feel like I'm just sort of just still going along doing things, like I haven't gone fully into the depths of anything to really be like, woo. I'm just like, see how this goes. I do feel like the morning pages probably help just pull things out of my head. At the very least, I will come out of this with some better creative self-care habits. Thank you very much for watching. If you like listening to my rambly little self, I mean, this channel does things, but there's no schedule. Gaming channel, a Twitch, have a Twitter. I'm around, if not always here. But while this thing's going, I'm here more or less weekly for 12 weeks. Bye!